After President Biden issues a warning on a call with the Israeli Prime Minister, Israel announces plans to increase humanitarian aid. And you may be out of luck if you're still looking for that Airbnb for the upcoming eclipse. The Morning Rundown starts now.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Friday, April 5th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Lauren Taylor. The Israeli government has announced plans to open more aid routes into Gaza, including a key border crossing to increase the flow of humanitarian aid into the territory following a phone call between President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Israel has committed to opening 3 corridors, including the Erez crossing in northern Gaza. Israel announced these plans hours after the 2 leaders' phone call where President Biden warned that America's policy toward Israel and the conflict in Gaza could change, depending on whether Israel takes more steps to protect civilians and aid workers. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby would not get into specifics during Thursday's White House briefing.
What is at stake? What would be potentially cut off from Israel producing this war if it doesn't change courses?
I'm not going to preview any potential policy decisions coming forward. What we want to see are some real changes on the Israeli side. If we don't see changes from their side, there'll have to be changes from our side. But I won't preview what that could look like.
On the call, Biden told Netanyahu the Israeli strike that killed 7 World Central Kitchen aid workers and the overall humanitarian situation are unacceptable. Biden also called for an immediate ceasefire and urged the prime minister to reach a deal without delay to bring the hostages home. The White House says it welcomes the plans announced by the Israeli government and that these steps must now be fully and rapidly implemented. We are now hearing from the loved ones of one of these 7 World Central Kitchen aid workers killed in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza earlier this week. 33-year-old Jacob Flickinger was a U.S.-Canadian dual citizen and a father to an 18-month-old son. Speaking to CBS News, his mother called him an exceptional human being who was passionate about his work, serving 11 years in the Canadian Forces. His father said they haven't heard any news about their son's death since the day Jacob was killed.
We haven't been told anything by the United States government or the Canadian government. All we know is what we've read and seen on the media.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the strike unintentional. World Central Kitchen founder, celebrity chef Jose Andres, claimed that the aid workers were targeted. Both have called for investigations into the incident. In an interview with ABC News, Jacob Flickinger's partner and mother of their son called on President Biden to get to the bottom of what happened.
This situation saddens me so much, but at the same time, Jacob was always a warrior, always a fighter, and he would always fight to bring more peace into this world.
Former President Donald Trump faced 2 legal setbacks on Thursday, with judges rejecting attempts to dismiss charges related to his efforts to overturn the 2020 Georgia election results and his handling of classified documents after his presidency. In Florida, a judge dismissed Trump's claim that classified documents at Mar-a-Lago were personal, ruling the Presidential Records Act does not protect him from the charges. In Georgia, a judge denied Trump's bid to drop election interference charges on First Amendment grounds, ruling the statements alleged in the indictment filed by the Fulton County DA were not protected by free speech rights. Trump has pleaded not guilty to all charges. These are among multiple legal challenges Trump is facing. The first ever trial against a former U.S. president is set to begin in New York on April 15th. The No Labels Group has decided not to run a presidential candidate this November after failing to find a centrist contender amid dissatisfaction with both President Biden and former President Trump. The group's CEO, Nancy Jacobson, stated the absence of a viable candidate prompted their withdrawal. This decision narrows the field to Biden, Trump, and independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Democrats have expressed relief at No Labels' decision, fearing that a split vote could benefit Trump. Meanwhile, Kennedy's campaign points to the two-party system's dominance as a major hurdle. Notable figures like Nikki Haley, Joe Manchin, Larry Hogan, and Chris Christie had previously declined invitations to be the nominee for the No Label group. If you're among the millions of people traveling to cities along the path of totality for Monday's total solar eclipse, you may be out of luck if you're still searching for that Airbnb. AirDNA, a company which tracks short-term rentals, says stays in more than half of the U.S. cities along the eclipse's path are fully booked up. AirDNA released a map showing how demand has grown for short-term rentals in these cities in just the last couple of days. AirDNA says short-term occupancy in Dallas is around 95% booked, Cleveland 97%, and Buffalo and the Niagara Falls area 98% booked. Finally, this morning, we got our answer to one of the mysteries surrounding the world of baseball. Where will the Oakland Athletics play the next few seasons before moving to Las Vegas in 2028? The answer? Sacramento, California. The A's announced on Thursday the team will call Sacramento their temporary home for at least the next 3 seasons, while their new stadium is being built in Vegas. The A's will share a minor league ballpark with the Sacramento River Cats. That's the AAA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. The deal was overseen by the owner of the NBA's Sacramento Kings, who also owns the River Cats. While playing in Sacramento, the team will stop using a city in its name and will just be simply known as the Athletics, or the A's for short. These are your top stories for this Friday. Unbiased, straight facts. That's Straight Arrow News. We'll see you back here on Monday. Until then, I'm Lauren Taylor. Have a great weekend.